Please stand for the Black National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the darkness taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
My name is Mrs. Harris, and I am the advisor over the Black Student Union, along with Ms. Cave. Every year we put on the Black History Assembly in celebration of the accomplishments and achievements of African Americans in this country. This year our show is entitled "The Revolution is Not Televised." We will be touching on things that you see in pop culture, and if there's time, at the end, we will have a dialogue with the audience about how, and I hope your teachers went over it with you, how pop culture has either negatively or positively influenced your generation and its impact. And anyway, before we get started, I do want to say that audience etiquette is important. Does anyone know what that means, etiquette? Audience etiquette. No one knows. You know. What does it mean? I'm sorry?
Manners.
Manners, right? What does that mean? Yes. Behavior, right? What does that mean? Because there's all types of behavior, but when we talk about behavior, we're talking about
Respect for others and their well-being.
right. So the people on stage, we need to be respectful. Right? You'll see your friends up here, that's great. And there's nothing wrong with clapping and, saying things appropriately. But when we're disrespectful, not only will it make the students on stage feel a certain way, but it's going to make me and Ms. K feel a certain way. And if that happens, then we're going to ask you to go. All right? So again, just keep that in mind because there are a lot of you. And we want you to have a good time, we do. But we also want you to act appropriately. All right? Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, with that said, we are about to get started with our show.
I'm so bored.
Well, come and sit with me. Let's watch some good old-fashioned television.
TV? Who does that when you can watch Netflix, Hulu, and YouTube on your computer?
Girl, sit down and spend some time with your mother.
All right.
That's more like it. I don't really have time to watch TV. When I was little, that was a big family event. Me and my sisters and brothers would sit in the living room with our mom and dad and watch television together.
Sounds like a bunch of fun.
I hope something good is on.
Ooh, I see some music videos on. At least I could turn up if I haven't watched TV.
Child, stop.
Versace, Medusa head on me like I'm a Minati. I know that you like it. Versace, my nigga, my wrist is like Versace, I love it. Versace, the top of my eyes. My luggage, I got it. He give me the dust and I know that they might. Got it. Whoa. I mean, I just love the Versace stuff. Versace.
I just... What in the heck did I just see?
Mom, that was Cheetos.
Cheetos? I can see why that's their name. They were pretty cheesy up there. And what were they saying?
That was their song Versace. You know, the clothing brand?
That's what they were saying? Child, those girls need to get those rocks out of their mouth before speaking.
Girls, those were guys.
Guys? Well, I'll be learning something new every day. And you didn't know any other word besides Versace? And why is their hair like that? And what were they wearing?
They were wearing Versace. You know, the clothing brand?
Oh, so they are endorsed by Versace? Good for them. At least they are making some money by making a song all about Versace.
Endorsement? I don't think so. I think they just like Versace.
Well, that's dumb. They just gave Versace a bunch of free advertising.
Mom, you don't get it.
You're absolutely right. I will never get stupidity.
Never mind.
Well, I don't get it. I'm controlling the remote control now. Let me find something decent.
Hey, it's fun out, and I'm gonna sing a song for you, and Bill's gonna show you a thing or two. You'll have fun now with me on the gang, learning from each other while we do our thing.
Mom, that show is totally offensive. It implies possible fat.
Offensive? Fat Albert was the best cartoon ever in the 1970s. No one thought that calling him fat was offensive. They had some really good lessons on life on that show. Fat Albert and the gang were cool.
You mean he had a gang? Now that's really bad.
A gang? No. That's just what they called themselves.
Don't they all? No, that's just what... Don't they all? Mom, your generation is weird. I don't really get it.
Child, whatever. Now let me see what else is on.
Oh, Lord.
I know. Let's turn to the retro channel.
Oh, good. A commercial.
You can be all the things you always wanted to be. Beautiful, sexy, easy as 1, 2, 3. Just let the sun fall down. Just let it shine through. Just let your sun through the love so simple. Just let it shine through. Just let your
Mom, did you guys really put that junk in your hair like that?
Sadly, baby, we had no idea the power of our own natural hair back then. People would leave grease spots on the sofa like it was a thing to do.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't around back then. The shiny forehead look just isn't the look for me.
Don't be putting on that Versace garbage. Up there looking like 3 poodles with wigs on.
Oh my God, Mom. Okay, I got this. Let's look at some of your old school ancient stuff.
Watch it. dressed like they didn't have class, curse, or sexualize themselves to get their point across. It was just good plain music, and you could actually understand the words. And best of all, no free advertising.
Well, I was feeling the song. Can you show me how to creep?
Oh yeah, I can still get my creep on.
Well, that was pretty fun. I guess it wasn't all that bad back then after all.
Girl, we were pretty fly back then. Come on, let's see what else is on TV. Oh, this looks good. I love hip hop.
He has said, you have said. What you mean how I said? I have said nothing.
Wait a minute. Both of y'all my baby mama.
Okay, no, don't call yours straight. Tripping. Because he has said, you have said. Girl, I have said nothing.
What did I just watch?
That was I Love Hip Hop.
What? I thought when the guy said I love hip hop, I thought it would be something positive. I was waiting for some Tupac or Biggie, and I get shenanigans then.
No, that was a reality TV show. That was Soldier Toy, and he has a song called Flake That Soldier Toy.
Flake that soldier toy? What does that even mean?
Mom, it doesn't even matter. I don't think he even knows. But why'd you turn? It was getting good. I don't know why they had said that.
Said what? Nobody said anything but he had said and you had said. What did they say? Girl, that was just as ridiculous as the Versace song.
Sheesh, you will never get it.
And I don't want to. Let me see what else is on. Oh, found something good. Now, The Cosby Show was a really good show.
Cosby? Wait, isn't Bill Cosby?
Yeah, but that doesn't deflect from the impact it showed.
What impact did it make?
It was one of the first times that you saw a successful black husband and wife on prime television. The mother was a lawyer and the husband was a doctor.
Really? Those were the first times?
Yeah, it really was.
Wow.
It was really inspirational. It gave people hope, and unlike black shows in the 1970s, it wasn't about black poverty.
I never knew that.
Exactly. All you know is I love hip hop mess. But wait, I see something else that was just plain funny back in the day. Exactly. Just plain humor. None of this neck popping, eye rolling, half-dressed, fake reality show nonsense. When we see negative images, we begin to think that it's all right to act like that. That's why I have a problem with Monster Toy and Doritos, or whatever their names are. They portray us negatively.
Mom, it's Soldier, Toy, and Cheetos. But I never thought of it that way.
No one your age ever does. Let's see what else is on.
Oh Lord, no more Solo, please.
Girl, my Jerry curl was pretty fly back in the day, so don't go there.
Mom, you don't get it. Wait, I see something that might change your mind. I see something that might change your mind.
Gucci gang, spread their racks on new chain. My blood, I chop got name. I can't bob in the weather rain. Rather go and bob on man. Gucci gang, 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 spread their racks on new chain. My blood, I chop got name. I can't bob in the weather rain. Rather go and bob on man. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. My lean costs more than your rent. It do. Your mom still live in the tent. Yeah. Still slanging dope with the jets. Yeah. Me and my grandma take meds. Oh, none of this shit be new to me. Nope.
Who in the heck was that?
That's Lil Dump.
Lil who?
Lil Dump. You know the song, Gucci Gang?
Gucci Gang. Oh, he's in a gang?
Of course not, Mom. That's just the name of the song.
So don't you dare say anything else about Fat Albert, because he wasn't in one either. Well, is he at least sponsored by Gucci?
Mom, it's not about being sponsored.
So he is advertising Gucci without getting paid? Just as stupid as that Versace song.
Mom, don't start.
Your generation doesn't get it. But wait, I see something that will really turn you up so you can see how ridiculous this is. Gucci Gang and Versace? Wow.
Mom, why you turn off the TV? I was getting into it. You can do what you wanna do in living color.
Those dancers were called the Fly Girls.
Yeah, they were pretty fly. They were getting it.
Back in the 80s and 90s, we were fly. No twerking, no demeaning, just plain dancing and having fun. Plus, In Living Color was an African-American variety show that touched on race relations in this country in a funny way. It also helped launch the careers of many African-Americans like Jamie Foxx.
Wow, I didn't even know.
Most people in your generation don't. But wait, I see something really good on. This will put it all into perspective. All of the things our people went through should make us black and proud, and not cartoonish and loud.
I want to hear you say your name. Your name is Toby. What's your name?
Lord God, help that boy. They're gonna put him dead.
What's your name? Who are you? Say your name. What's your name?
Toby.
Hi. Say it again. Say it louder so they all can hear you. What's your name?
Toby. My name is Toby.
Hi. That's a good nigger. Cut him down.
Mom, why did you put that on? That is so sad.
Because we can't forget. When we forget, we get Doritos and Monster Toy.
Mom, that's not even their names. Never mind. I do see your point though.
Roots really blew people away when it was first shown. We talk about slavery all the time, but to see it up so close, back then it made it more personal. Oh, and I see something else that is equally as powerful. Malcolm X is on. Now that was my favorite movie.
I didn't know they made a movie about Malcolm X.
Oh yes, and Denzel Washington played the role.
Ooh, Mom, I'm telling Dad.
Child, what happens on the sofa stays on the sofa. Now give me that remote.
I must emphasize at the outstart that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is not a politician. So I'm not here this afternoon as a Republican, nor as a Democrat. Not as a Mason, nor as an elf. Not as a Protestant, nor a Catholic. Not as a Christian, nor a Jew. Not as a Baptist, nor a Methodist. In fact, not even as an American. Because if I was an American, the problems that confront our people today wouldn't even exist. So I have to stand here today as what I was when I was born, a black man. Before there was any such thing as a Republican or a Democrat, we were black. Before there was any such thing as a Mason or an elf, we were black. Before there was any such thing as a Jew or a Christian, we were black people. In fact, before there was any such place as America, we were black. And when America is long past from the scene, there will still be black people. I'm going to say like how it really is. Every election year, these politicians are sent here to pacify us. They are sent here and set up here by the white man. This is what they do. They send drugs down in Harlem to pacify us. They send alcohol down here to pacify us. They send prostitution down here to pacify us. Why you can't get drugs in Harlem without the white man's permission? You can't get gambling in Harlem without the white man's permission. You can't get prostitution in Harlem without the white man's permission. Every time you break a seal off that liquor bottle, that's a government seal you're breaking. Oh, I say and I say it again. You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok. This is what he does. Thank you.
Girl, what are you doing?
Mom, I'm touched by this. His words are so powerful. What he is saying applies to all of us today.
Exactly. Now if we could play this clip to the millions of black millennials, maybe they would stop listening to Doritos and watching that Monster Toy act the fool.
Mom, don't start.
Wait, I see something else on.
I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with this vicious racist, with this governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountains of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together. Knowing that, we will be free one day. And this will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my father died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the high-knee alleghanies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black man and white man, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, we will be able to join hands and sing in the words, "'Tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, thee I sing." Land where my father died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mountain mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the high-knee alleghanies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of New Hampshire. But not only that, let freedom ring from the Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black man and white man, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Christians, we will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. God Almighty, we are free at last.
That was so powerful. Dr. King's voice sends chills up my spine. That speech is so electrifying.
Exactly. Now you are starting to see why these things your generation embraces make my generation cringe. See, we never forgot.
Mom.
You know it's the truth. Now let's see what else is on. Let's brighten your mood. Let's see if your generation can do anything better than less we've seen so far. Versace? Too much for me.
You know what? I got this. I see a music video that might show you that my generation isn't just all about Cheetos, Soda Toy, and Lil Dumb.
We fly high.
Yeah, this is America. Come to my area. I got the test. I gotta carry him. Yeah, I'ma go visit this. Yeah, this is for real. Yeah, I'ma go get the bag. Yeah, or I'ma get the bag. Yeah, I'm so cold like yeah, I'm so dull like we gon' blow like
Wow. That was totally different from those other videos.
Right? Well, that was Childish Gambino. That's his song. This is America.
Well, you should have put him on first, because that Doritos, Monster Toy, and Lil Dunk gave me a headache.
Mom. Well, I see one more thing that I think that might restore your faith in my generation. And let you see that we're not all about that.
If people say your dreams are crazy, if they laugh at what you think you can do, good. Stay that way. Because what non-believers fail to understand is that calling a dream crazy is not an insult. It's a compliment. Don't try to be the fastest runner in your school or the fastest in the world. Be the fastest ever. Don't picture yourself wearing OBJ's jersey. Picture OBJ wearing yours. Don't settle for homecoming queen or linebacker. Do both. Lose 120 pounds and become an Ironman after beating a brain tumor. Don't believe you have to be like anybody to be somebody. If you're born a refugee, don't let it stop you from playing soccer for the national team at age 16. Don't become the best basketball player on the planet. Be bigger than basketball. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. When they talk about the greatest team in the history of the sport, make sure it's your team. If you have only one hand, don't just watch football. Play it at the highest level. And if you're a girl from Compton, don't just become a tennis player. Become the greatest athlete ever. Yeah, that's more like it. So don't ask if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough.
See, Mom, we haven't forgotten. Sometimes we need to be gently reminded. Some of us still don't understand.
I see that you haven't forgotten.
I love you, Mom.
I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same. Abusing my power full of resentment. Resentment that turned into a deep depression. Found myself screaming in the hotel room. Lucifer was all around. So I kept running till I found my safe haven. I was trying to convince myself the stripes I got, making myself realize what my foundation was.
loved ones was fighting a continuous war back in the city, I was entering a new one. A war that was based on apartheid and discrimination. All's my life I had to fight. All's my life hard times like that, bad trips like that. Nazareth, you got us this week, be alright. Be alright. Be alright. We gon' be alright. You can hit me, nigga, we gon' be alright. Be alright. Be alright. Be alright. You can hit me, nigga, we gon' be alright. And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas got me looking at you for the face down. I'll make a living in the room with the face down. Scheming, and let me tell you about my life. Come and get me, reaping everything is close. My karma coming, having no preliminary hearings. My record, I'm a dollars for the rest. Tell the world I know it's too late. Because I think I'm so great. Trying to decide my life is all day. Please believe when I say, when you know we've been up and down before.
Alright, you guys, let me get the cast back on the stage. Open the curtain, please. Open the curtain, please. I'm sorry. Let me say it again in English. Open the curtain, please. Everyone on stage, please give everyone a hand. Everyone on stage. Also, give yourself a hand. I'm sorry, when I said be polite, I didn't mean to not have fun. You guys can have fun. I didn't reiterate that, sorry. But you guys did a really, 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 really good job. Come up to the front to the bow. We wanted to have a panel discussion because we touched on a lot of topics that we see in pop culture and how it influences how we think. And so there were some students who wanted to take part of this discussion. And so those students, let's grab a chair or something and let's to the front. Who are the students? Oh, nobody knows who's that.
Get a chair.
All right, we're Miss K. Would you like to come up and say something? Oh gosh. All right. At any rate. Okay. At any rate, there are a lot of topics that we discussed. And so one of the things I was just, because a lot of times we watch these images and I don't think that we're really aware of how they impact us or affect us. So with that in mind, I don't know who wants to go first, but how do you think pop culture has influenced your generation? Do you think it's positive? Do you think it's negative? What do you think? Is it a little bit of both? Tell me your name and your grade. And your account.
My name is Trinity. I am in PAMA. I'm a senior. And I definitely think that pop culture has affected us both. It has affected us in both ways. For example, like This Is America. That was something that someone from our own generation created, copied its own brain, and put in like the issues of society in a witty way that people aren't like people of color or, you know, they wouldn't understand. So I feel like that was really dope. And not only that, but like, not gonna like, I know we all love the song, but Tatiana, that is not a song that like affects us. Okay, the dance, y'all know the dance. I'm not about to sit here and pretend like y'all know the dance. No, but the Tatiana. Like THOT. That song, yeah, that song reflects our generation negatively. Even though we love it, we sing it, but it's like, it doesn't give off the best light of our generation, in my opinion.
My name is Lucia. I'm in Pamela. I'm in 11th grade. Like she said, yeah, it affects us positively and negatively. But I think a lot of times people kind of like group our generation and act like we're just like these slow people who only like twerk or whatever, you know, whatever it may be. But like throughout generations, everybody, like every generation has had the good and the bad. So I don't think we're like any different. I think the only difference is that we got like so much technology. You know, we got Instagram, you know, we got YouTube or whatever. So we get to like broadcast ourselves while other generations didn't get to do that. So the only difference is that like we're more open about it while other generations didn't, like we're more like quiet about it, or it wasn't as known to like adults or whatever it may be. Yeah, I don't think it's really that. I mean, yeah, of course it's negative, like we have some negative stuff like Tatiana and I can't think of anything else, but I don't think it's like so extreme, like we're like so bad, you know what I mean? I think we got like both. I think it's pretty equal.
My name is Faith. I am part of the Pamela Academy and I'm a senior. Just like both of them was saying, it's both, but I feel like our generation don't appreciate much. And it's like, we don't understand, like we don't try to understand like the words and songs and like the meanings and stuff. So it's like, some things that's part of our generation, like, oh yeah, it's good, but then you gotta think about it, like it is like some stuff that is not, and people pay more attention to the things that are not good when they should pay attention to the things that are. And
All right, anyone else want to come up and answer this? I do want to say, when I did write the script, I did make fun of Migos and, what's his name, I called him Lil Dump, because I watched the video of both of them. Both of us gonna say they have no respect for the pioneers of hip hop, and it just really like made me angry. It would be like, you know, someone of this time saying, "Forget Martin Luther King, he ain't here, he's old school," type of thing. That no paying homage to people who were there and paved the way for them to be there. And so yeah, I call them Cheetos and Little Dump because that's how I feel about them. Cheetos, yeah. Anyone want to come up and add to it? Any features, Mr. Shaw? You're from the 90s, 80s. Tell us how our generation is a little different, or maybe it's the same, I don't know.
Hey, sing a song, Mr. Shaw.
As a older, more mature person and a product of the hip hop generation, it's very disappointing, as Ms. Harris said, the lack of respect given to the craft of rap music. Rap music was based on lyrics, and a lot of the lyrics that are being used now don't require a lot of thought, a lot of depth, and it's disappointing, especially for an art form that is minority urban based. And as a product of the 80s, rap music told stories. It exposed a lot of society to parts of our culture that they hadn't been aware of. And to see the lack of respect and lack of commitment to craft that is now on display is disappointing. The disrespect towards women, the over-sexualization of all the videos, the overuse of the N-bomb, and just the blatant use of profanity. You know, I'm a hip-hop product. There's a place for profanity in hip-hop, but every other word should be profanity. That shows a lack of creativity, and that's the disappointing part to me. And a comment to one of the young ladies: the fact that you guys have the world at your fingertips. The imagery that you send out to the world is even more important. Because if you send out negative images to the world, that's the impression that they're going to have about a particular culture. So every opportunity you have to post something on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever media platform that you have an opportunity to send a message to the world. What message are you going to send? Is it going to be a message of positivity, or is it going to be a reinforcement of negative stereotypes? That's what you need to consider. I love hip hop. Eric B. and Rakim, Ice Cube. You know, a lot of positive messages come from hip hop. Don't forget the message, the imagery that you're putting out there, because a lot of people judge you on that.
Also, just with even television shows, and again, you know, we did make fun of one of those I love shows, I love basketball wives, hip hop love, whatever. All I hear when I see this, literally all I hear is he has said, she has said, and you have said. That's all I hear. And you know what happened to the shows like Martin or the Cosby Show? Showing young, successful African Americans who are trying to make it in society, other than people screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, well, you know, and weeds flying all over the place. So we did make fun of that also, because again, you have to realize that we live in Los Angeles and it's diverse, but in other states, people don't know who we are. They judge us based on what they see. Anyone else want to come up? And Miss Hart, here we come, Miss Hart. Miss Hart, she used to be a rapper back in the day.
Say it, hop, hip it, That was the first rap I heard, and I still enjoy it. Anyways, but I'm tagging on to Miss Harris. Being somebody who moved to America back in the 80s, I only was able to see, because I came from Guam, what was on TV to explain to me what black lives were about, whatever you saw. So I come from Guam and go to New York. I'm on a subway train, and I'm looking at these different shades of black. And I was just so amazed, because that's not what I saw on TV. That's not what the other world saw at that time. I saw braids, afro, and cornrows. That's all I saw. And that was my image. So when I saw these different young ladies having hair like mine, even longer, I was like, whoa. Or they were very light skinned. Until the Cosby came, we didn't see that. So television plays a big factor in the world. Like you said, media is playing a big factor. So when we find out about how young, I get so disappointed when I see sagging pants. And a lot of you, I might have told you to lift them up. But when just recently, I found out about buck breaking. And what is buck breaking? Back in the slavery times, the strong black man was called the buck. And in order for them the slave owners to keep them in line, they actually had them, those who were homosexuals, rape these men. And to show that they were, to discipline them, they had to wear their pants sagging. To show other slave owners that this man was, you can pretty much rape afterwards. So when we think about your culture, your respect, this is something that when people say, hey, you should have more respect, and when it's a hip hop thing, it isn't. You have to respect yourself, and you respect others, and you respect your elders, and you respect the people that came before you. You are smart, I was dumb at that time because all I was seeing was what was on TV. Okay, that's all that we were exposed to. So in other words, when you're dealing with different race or different culture, find out before you make an assumption, because I was totally shocked when I worked down the street, and this girl had short hair one day, and she had long hair the next day, and it's like, where'd you get your hair? I mean, how'd your hair grow so fast? And she said, I said, is that your hair? She goes, yeah, I paid for it. But I'm just saying that because different people, different cultures don't know, it doesn't hurt to find out. And this hip-hop music, don't ask me about no hip-hop rap, because I don't understand the words. I was an 80s child. We knew the words.
What you got? Anyone else? But she did touch on some things though. Because again, like I said, you guys are in a diverse community, and you're fortunate to be in a diverse community. But if you were living in Montana or Utah somewhere, it'd be totally different. Where people only see people that look like them, and the images that they see on television is what they judge you by. And that's why when you get a certain age, you understand. But when you're your age, you don't get it. So when you're listening to this dumbed down stuff, and I say it's dumbed down because anytime you can make a song and just say Versace, and get a record deal, I was like, why did I not think of that? Louis Vuitton. Miss K, that's me and you. Louis, you say Vuitton. Seriously. And we're just standing here, Louis, Vuitton. I mean, that's how ridiculous it is. And you have to ask yourself, why are these people making all this money to do it? And it's probably to dumb you down. And you guys need to think about that seriously. Anyone else have anything to say? Dr. Colburn, I heard you were a rapper back in the day. No? You used to rap back in the day. He was Dr. MC. You want to add to this? Would you like to add your insight?
Not going to happen today. I'm not of this generation, right? So that's all in the past. But I do have a serious question for you all. When the internet was first developed, it has a military background, you may know that, but the people who invented the internet, thinking about the future, were really very optimistic about boundaries between subcultures breaking down. And the free exchange of information, where everyone now, you didn't have to be a millionaire, you didn't have to have connections, you could communicate to the world who you were, what you valued, show people things that they had never seen before. That was the hope. And we know it didn't quite turn out that way because we are now more insular. We see what we like to see. We turn away from things that don't project the messages that we want to hear. And so there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of racism still. And I'm wondering if in your generation you have more optimism, you have more hope that somehow, rather than reinforcing the barriers that exist, that have existed for generations, that somehow those barriers will come down. And there's just too many haters. And as Ms. Harris has already commented on, what you see on TV, what you see in the media, what is reinforced, what's in it for you? besides just cheap entertainment. So can you not take the technology that is available to you and do something positive for yourself, for the world, for your community? That's my question to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Coburn. Anyone want to answer to that? He's asking, can you take what's available and flip it? Right, so I'm saying, not in Dr. Coburn's words, but let's say it in your words, can you flip it and make it something positive rather than how it has twisted and morphed into something other than what it was intended to do? Wait, whose class are you listening to? Oh, okay, good luck. Anyone want to answer? No? Let me just reiterate what he said. He said that the intentions of the internet was to expose people to things that maybe they couldn't touch or see or feel because of their proximities, where they were, where you are. You know what I'm saying? But it has morphed into something other than that, where people aren't embracing things that are positive and rather focusing on things that are negative and turning their back to the positive things. Is there any way that your generation can flip it back to its intended purpose?
I just think that our generation don't like to pay attention. And
say it one more time.
Our generation do not like to pay attention.
Did anyone hear that? Because you weren't paying attention.
Say again.
Say it one more time.
Our generation do not like to pay attention. And so I feel like if we actually stop and just look and try to understand, we'll be able to do more than just something that's stupid or something that's inappropriate. Because I think that anybody in our generation can do anything that they want, but they don't want to put their mind to it, or they just I feel like they always pay attention to an image when it's not that important. It's not that serious, and it's you just gotta put your mind to it. You can't just worry about what people think or try to be a part of this or be a part of that. It's all about you and doing what you want to do and something that's positive.
I agree with Faith completely. I feel like with everything at our fingertips, we definitely change the world if we want to change the negative into positive, and so on and so forth. It just takes the initiative and the energy to actually want to do it, because we can do whatever we want. It's just how much time we want to invest in our passion and our drives and our causes.
They explained it well. They explained it.
All right, well, that was actually the end of our show. I'm going to end it with this. You guys are really, really, really